Street. No, the Irishman, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro for the first time in the Martin Scorsese.
Good evening. Welcome to the Oceanside Library in Long Island, New York, where tonight we are going to speak your truth. A reading that is also happening in Aldeburgh, UK, and Salinas, Kansas. And this was put together by Ian Griffin in England and George Wallace here in the United States. And Jeanette Powers is doing her reading in Salinas, Kansas. Our first reader tonight will be Francine Witt.
Hello. Thank you, Peter. Is this,
You can lower it.
yeah, let me get there we go. Okay. So, hi. Yes, I'm Francine Witt, and I'm going to be reading a poem by Fran Reeder from the UK, John Epic. These are really good poetic names. From Salinas, Kansas, and then myself. I'll read one of my poems. This is called Gender Wars Rap. So I'll try to rap it. Now let's be honest about the games we play. Like, you got it out, you put it away. Not there, stupid, not on the floor. The potato peeler belongs in that drawer. And here's a situation that's not new either. Woman uses white knife instead of screwdriver. A misdemeanor she should know by now is guaranteed to raise the male eyebrow. Next we come to laundry and how lives are blighted by those odd socks that can't be united. Or folding sheets, we each have our way of putting that cover on the double duvet. Another situation, so I'm told, revolves around controlling the remote control. Attest to that. He who's always right, or she who's never wrong, or the one who never lets bygones be gone. And as for the bathroom balance of power, like turn the top off, I'm in the shower. Not changing the toilet rolls a sin as renowned as forgetting to put the toilet seat down. I'm told that a female can be unpredictable, so it needs a mind reader with skills formidable. And woe betide the male who fails to recall the date they're in.
Given workshops here in the past, and he's a great supporter of ours. And I'm going to try and read it without an American accent, but the way he writes, so it may end up somewhere between American and Welsh.
And the poem's called Climate Change Demonstration NYC. Climate Change Demonstration NYC 9/20/2019. All we are saying is save our planet. Dial.
From Oceanside, New York. It's called Life Wrecker. Planet by day, monster by night. The news cuts us into pieces, scatters us. Pollution. We sweat, we starve, we cannot breathe.
By Peter V. Dugan from Oceanside, New York, and the title is Life on the Periphery. Balancing between the dream and reality, happiness walks a tightrope, laden with a head.
Okay.
I'm Julie Harries and I'm reading a poem that's hideously true. Laurie Brax from Salinas, Kansas. At McAllen, Texas, children live in detention camps. Rough scatter of birds rises into bare tree hanging with black.
I'm Carol Lawrence, and the poem is by Francine Witt, Oceanside, New York, and it's called Bravado. Take away our medicines and guns, and where are we, really? Not at the top of the...
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. This poem is by John E. Epic from Salinas, Kansas. The hypothetical triumph of pulverized meat. You, my false master, are merely another cog in the machine. And for me...
Florence, okay, go.
I'm Florence Cox, and this is a poem by Jeanette Powers of Salinas, Kansas. After bourgeois the bathers, don't forget how to listen. Or if you have, drop everything and run to a sandbar in a river. You'll probably have to swim. Take off your shoes before you leave. Take off your clothes before you get there. It will be chill and brisk. There will be fish who nibble the round peach fuzz of your bare thighs and toes and elsewhere too. Let them. Be quiet. Remember, you know where you are. This is it. Remember, you know how to breathe. Yes, fresh. Yes. Your body grows heavy. You stop holding yourself up so much. You put your mind in its own pocket. You are here. You are here. Lay on the sand and spread your legs. Show the sun your whole body. There is no shame. The heron flies over you. The warbler continues her lunch. Deep sip fresh water across the way. And a salamander rests near your foot. You are part of this. Your body will always remember, but you will always have to remind your mind. Happiness is light as a feather, but none can bear it. Calamity is heavy as the earth, yet none can avoid it. There will be another storm, but right now you stand naked before everything there is, and all is right with the world.
I am pulverized meat, trampled, kneaded, sculpted, and forcibly fit into my place. You, my silly oppressor, has only one power: to tediously push the button. And for me, as I lay silently still, painfully patient, while hiding my discontent, the meat market puts me in the aisle, in a row, an artless pattern, next to, above, and below others, just like me, concealing their need and their anger. Dressed up like dolls are we, our attire inexpressive, our eyes dead, seemingly without hope, and we lay still, painfully patient, waiting to be sold to the highest bidder. You, the anxious button pusher, are just in your fear, because when you're on vacation, numbed by your entertainment, we, the pulverized meat, appreciate what we earn, and we spend every cent on knowledge, lift and encourage one another, feel responsible for our neighbours, share our humanity, knowing in time, as you, my false master, become obsolete, our lineage will trade places.
Food chain, that's for sure. Our teeth can barely tear a baguette and forget about breathing in the wrong stranger's sneeze. Put us in the jungle and watch the tigers sniff us out. Nothing but our ready hands to fight them off. Tigers don't care about your negotiating skills or your way with a presentation. And bacteria, small as they are giant to us, salivating as they gather on the tip of our thumbs, and us, armed only with hand soap and woolen scarves, while they just laugh and keep lurking right there in the light. Black nests, rises as though merely one handful of feathers picked up and flung into branches. Stupid world that makes me love its careless moment in a day when I was looking elsewhere for a reason. I'm driving hard against the light, racing ahead of a storm that keeps gathering and disappearing. The faster I push these bodies, explosion by explosion, into a flightless gap.
Heavy burden. Twilight blends with the city skyline. An image that paces and prowls the cage of society's state of mind. As commuters are herded like cattle, crowd onto the train. They flutter like moths to straddle white picket fences, boxed in by the parenthesis of consciousness, feign their docile veil of domestication, buried beneath the shadow of tombstones, and bask in the silhouettes cast by the mist that shrouds the haloed moon. A vibration shudders the air up by the railroad tracks, where daffodils evaporate in the light of electrified moonshine. Trees and shrubs blur along the rail line, forming a makeshift inversion of thought torn to shreds, like a weathered mattress that lays in the overgrown grass between the park fence and train tracks. Jukebox rust drips in the air as teenagers perform a moon dance under neon lights, a celebration of immunity to the aroused void. Purple haloed streetlights turn the blacktop road red, the impetus of a monotonous reality generated by imagination and fears, as dusk foreshadows the failing light of day viewed from behind the decayed stone walls. But, like salamanders in a cemetery, they scurry to the comfort of home, an experience portrayed in the abstract lithograph of American life, floundering in a whirlpool of idealism.
Fear is no longer. Compassion quits and stuffs us into a paper sack. We are garbage, disposed of in the dark. No one is looking out for us. Do you pray? Planet, start praying. We are all doomed as ice melts and fires persist. Everything is burning. The smoke stings and we sing anthems. Wear hats, draw guns. Red and blue equals nightmare. The new map. We are the ash.
Log. When I was your age and a demonstration, say, against the Vietnam War, prejudice, environmental. We just cut out of class no matter what. By the way, do you know the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young song, Teach Your Children Well? Well, today's students go to demonstrations as a class trip. I guess that's progress. But why? The world is in a more dire situation today. Unfortunately, chants, it's our planet, let's take it back. It's everyone's birthright, and that's a fact. We want the world, and we want it back again. When do we want it back? Now. So remember, all we are saying is save our planet. All we are saying is save our planet. All we are saying is save our planet. Imagine all the people. Peace.
Hooray! Yes, but we'll try and do him credit nonetheless. Yes. I drove west because of you. I drove west because of you and for you. Heard your voice in moonlit smiles, crossed the Jesus-infected sky, caught hell at every 6-gun speed trap and felt envy smiling at every exit ramp. I tasted blood in a coffee cup in Abilene, and in Nevada, the 6-month rain never came. I slept like the damned, fouled in the yellow arroyo, and killed a horned toad with a wiper blade because I thought I heard it say your name. And I drove west because dry, dead riverbeds spring to life and dull horizons climb to heaven, and because the cascade of Nebraska green grasses is unbending. I wept over you like embroidery, and wanted to love you, but could not, and wanted to understand you, but could not, and wanted to rescue or replace you, but could not. Yellow prairie sun limp over the State House dome. Your voice is like the little Colorado River carving a deep ditch deeper out of the flesh of the Virgin. Your voice is cavernous, recalling crocodiles and thin-necked ibis, red seas parting. And I wanted to redeem you, but could not. On your lips the song of endless cattle, in your palm spit and ancient leather. In my rear view mirror, an unregulated militia of 2-bit cowboys shooting their full shotgun mouths off like Washington politicians. And I drove west because of you. And I heard your voice in full swing like larks. Your voice quick as a bullet train's covered with wagon dust. Your voice cheap as crimes and easy encroachments. Your voice, a bone-thin man with one eye on the horizon and the other eye missing, hell-bent on death, on survival, on oblivion. Your voice, wet boots tramping out the vintage across this intractable nation.
Anniversary happens to fall. I know my examples aren't comprehensive, but this is the end. Don't be apprehensive. When the going gets tough, then they say every time, to err is human, to forgive is divine. Watch that, Ice Tea. Okay. This one is by John Epic. Great poet name, right? Salinas, Kansas. The hypothetical triumph of pulverized meat. You, my false master, are merely another cog in the machine. And for me, I am pulverized meat, trampled, kneaded, sculpted, and forcibly fit into my place. You, my silly oppressor, has only one power, to tediously push the button. And for me, as I lie silently still, painfully patient, while hiding my discontent, the meat market puts me in the aisle, in a row, an artless pattern, next to, above, and below others. Just like me, concealing their need and their anger, dressed up like dolls are we. Our attire inexpressive, our eyes dead, seemingly without hope. And we lie silently still, painfully patient, waiting to be sold to the highest bidder. You, the anxious button pusher, are just in your fear, because when you're on vacation, numbed by your entertainment, we, the pulverized meat, appreciate what we earn, and we spend every cent on knowledgeable, lift and encourage one another, feel responsible for our neighbors, share our humanity, knowing in time, as you, my false master, become obsolete, our lineage will trade places. Thank you, and here's mine. This is called Bravado. This is kind of like what we were talking about just a few minutes ago. Bravado. Take away our medicines and guns, and where are we really? Not at the top of the food chain, that's for sure. Our teeth can barely tear a baguette, And forget about breathing in the wrong stranger's sneeze. Put us in the jungle and watch the tigers sniff us out. Nothing but our bready hands to fight them off. Tigers don't care about your negotiating skills or your way with a presentation. And bacteria, small as they are giant to us, salivating as they gather on the tip of our thumbs, and us armed only with hand soap and woolen scarves, while they just laugh and keep lurking right there in the light. Thank you.
Our next reader, Anthony Policano.
Thank you, Peter. Hello to everyone out there in Aldeburgh, UK, and Salinas, Kansas. I have some terrific poems. I'm going to start off with Florence Cox's poem called Face It. Florence is from Aldeburgh, UK. Face it. Strip off your yearning, sheathe your heart in ice. Bury the longing of your skin for touch, your mouth for exploratory kisses, your breasts for cupping hands that are not your own. Forget it. Forget you are a sentient being, made for love, who has been loved badly, or not at all, for far too long. Face it. Your skin, as smooth as cream, will lie untouched under indifferent clothes, whose buttons no one undoes except yourself. Your lips, so gentle and strong, will remain shockingly unkissed. The warm, secret trails of your body unexplored. The swoops of lust or joy unfelt. You can still think. Why then do you believe, against all odds, that joy outweighs the pain? Hide under the invisibility cloak of crow's feet and graying hair. Disqualify yourself and be content. And this next poem is by Mickey Lacey from Salinas, Kansas. It's called Speak Your Truth. Words may be gibberish to you, but as my words flow and land wherever they have an inkling, it's because the air is free to carry voices unsilenced as they shout out pain and joy and laughter in the same sentence. Open your ears to hear freedom of voices speaking out truth in unison. Are you alone, standing in shadows, lips muted, listening to someone else's interpretation of you? They'll hide quietly, silently, behind their closed lips while I speak my truth unapologetically and completely to the masses. Two excellent poems. This is my poem, Tony Policano from New York, Long Island, New York, and it's called Barn Burning. You ask me, what's the story with the barn? Are we painting it red tonight? Well, go ahead, paint it red, white, and blue glitter or a purple haze, but just don't be so sure about painting it dead. Oh no, not yet, not while you're still here and poems are taking you somewhere far off. No, just be thankful. Take it to the next level, grateful. The blank page in your notebook is now a poem in your pocket, a wordy rocket counting down to explode. Giddy up, your name's being called. Feel that horse in your chest getting shooed. Get on up, there's a memory in your mind out of time, waiting to be made like some wise guy moving up in the mob. Today is confirmation day. From henceforth, consider yourself a made poet. Black raven perched on your left shoulder, surrounded by a room full of made poets. We're resurrecting the sunflowers by the railroad tracks, assassinated in broad daylight by cold-blooded technocrats. Yes, they're blooming again hydroponically, symbolically. Let's lace up our capezios, dance to the radio. Retro love songs from a collective unconscious break out in serendipity like teenagers breaking out in acne. Imperfection is beautiful. We are beautiful. With all of our faults hanging like damp underwear on a line, caught somewhere between summer doldrums and naked winter bird song as each season melds like days into the next. Let the government threaten a government shutdown. Let Detroit automakers transplant another factory to a foreign land. Go ahead, shut it down, but you can never kill American optimism. You can't erase an immigrant's 1,000-mile journey. You can't disguise blue-collar virtue with phony, four-worded bullshit slogans. You just can't do it. We are all Jimmy Stewart. We replay what our life would be like in our own little towns without us. Come to one conclusion: we were meant to be here in this universe, in this building, at this particular time, in time's continuum. This barn has tiger eyes. This barn is burning bright in the forests of the night, in the gravel parking lot, in the Harleys and ambulances roaring down Main Street. This barn is a fire burning in our guts, validating our genetics, burning DNA helixes on our front lawns. I spat into a plastic vial, sealed it tight, mailed it to 23andMe, got the results, and I know now what I contain. This barn may burn, but it will not be consumed. This barn makes up make that 63% of the blood coursing through my poetic Long Island veins.
Our next reader, Doreen Spungen.
Thank you, Peter. And so pleased to be able to take part in this once again. Greetings to Aldeburgh and Salina. This is a poem by Sue Wallace-Shaddad. She's from Aldeburgh, UK. It's called In the Mirror. The party was held in a dance club, with sprung floor for lightness of step, mirrors all round the wall. I grabbed some food and drink, sat down in a secluded corner, not quite sure what to expect. Chatting with friends, new acquaintances, the evening passed pleasantly enough, till the host took up the microphone, announced some rock and roll, deftly demonstrating some moves. Not many got on the floor. The music then moderated, and soon I was having a go. My tired old bones doing their best to dance with a bit of energy, even zest. But one glance in the mirror, and I could see the truth. A gently rocking, middle-aged lady, several years on the clock, slowly having a good time. This next one is from Jason Ryberg from Salinas, Kansas. On the road with Uncle Walt and Juice Newton. Woke up to the ancient alarm clock radio blaring next to my head with the latest mayhem from around the world and the fairly advanced stages of a Walt Whitman beard that I swear wasn't there when I went to bed. And it's something about rockets fired into crowds armed with rocks. And I'm wondering suddenly if today wouldn't be one of those days better devoted to driving around the country back roads, drinking beer and picking wildflowers wherever I find them. And suddenly I'm there. In a whirlwind of activity, it has been decided and enacted, and I'm driving down a classic American country road with a stag tall boy between my legs, and Juice Newton's playing with the Queen of Hearts of all things, crackling out of the AM radio oldies channel. And somehow I know all the words, yes, by heart. And I'm belting it out like I'm in the band and all I've had for breakfast is half a bagel, some kind of B-complex vitamin and a beer, thinking that I really should get that broken driver's side tail light fixed one of these days before my luck finally runs out. And while this is all probably ill-advised, it's okay, because the point is, I'm here. and I have become this invisible, all-seeing eye of the poem, maybe somebody else's poem, I don't know, roving about the classically bucolic American countryside, tethered to nothing, beholden to no one. And I'm thinking how I'd love to have old Uncle Walt in the passenger seat next to me, singing along to Juice Newton, or hanging his smiling head out of the window like a golden retriever or yellow lab, drunk and delirious on wind and sun, or standing next to me laughing like madmen as we piss all our worldly cares away by a roadside ditch. Wildflowers in our hair, wildflowers in our pockets, wildflowers in our fast approaching afternoon nappy time dreams. And this is my life wrecker. Planet by day, monster by night. The news cuts us into pieces, scatters us, pollution. We sweat, we starve, we cannot breathe, ears no longer. Compassion quits and stuffs us into a paper sack. We are garbage, disposed of in the deep night. No one is looking out for us. Do you pray? Planet, start praying. We are all doomed as ice melts and fires persist. Everything is burning. The smoke stings and we sing anthems, wear hats, draw guns. Red plus blue equals nightmare, the new math. We are the ash.
James Romano, please come up.
Well, Peter, greetings to UK, to Kansas, and the global community. We're all one. The first one is, poem is being read by, is by Colin Wiles from Aldeburgh, UK. The title is The Truth of It. I curtain the difficult memories with camouflage in earth tones, fading them away to nothingness. I bring a light to bear on painless memories, polishing off the rough edges, separating them from the dross, brightening their colors with verbal whiteners. What do I remember? I embellish in vivid hues, detail carved with precision, aligned with temporal certitude, perfect logical exactitude, coinciding rigorously and unforgettably. The truth can reliably deceive. This is Lori Black, Salinas, Kansas. In McAllen, Texas, children live in detention camps. Rough, scattered of birds rises into bare trees, hanging with black nests, rises as though merely one handful of feathered scooped up and flung into branches. Stupid world that makes me love its careless moment in a day when I was looking elsewhere for a reason. I am driving hard against the light, racing ahead of a storm that keeps gathering and disappearing. The faster I push these bodies, explosion by explosion, into a flightless gape. And this is for all that attended around the world. Climate change. All we are saying is save our planet. Dialogue. When I was your age and a demonstration, say, against the Vietnam War, prejudice, or environmental, we just cut out of class no matter what. By the way, do you remember the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young song, Teach Your Children Well? Well, today's students go to demonstrations as a class trip. I guess that's progress, but why? The world is in a more dire situation today, unfortunately. Chance. It's our planet, take it back. It's everybody's birthright, and that's a fact. We want the world and we want it back again. When do we want it back? Now. So remember, all we are saying is save our planet. All we are saying is save our planet. All we are saying is save our planet. Imagine all the people. Peace.
Hi, I'm Peter Dugan, and I'm going to read Giving by Sue Forster, Aldeburgh, UK. Giving. How much better it is to serve soup with a spoon than to stir up trouble with neighbors. How much better to offer warmth, a smile, a hand, or a bowl of cherries in long winter months with the silver spoon you were born with. My next poem is by Jeanette Powers from Salinas, Kansas. After bourgeois the bathers. I hope I pronounce her name, bourgeois the bathers. Don't forget how to listen, or if you have, drop everything and run to a sandbar in a river. You'll probably have to swim. Take off your shoes before you leave. Take off your clothes before you get there. It'll be chill and brisk. There'll be fish who nibble the round peach fuzz of your bare thighs and toes, and elsewhere too. Let them. Be quiet. Remember you know where you are. This is it. Remember you know how to breathe. Yes. Fresh. Yes. Your body grows heavy. You stop holding yourself up so much. You put your mind in its own pocket. You are here. You are here. Lay on the sand and spread your legs. Show the sun your whole body. There is no shame. The heron flies over you. The wobbler continues her lunch. Deep sip fresh water across the way, and the salamander rests near your foot. You are part of this. Your body will always remember, but you will always have to remind your mind. Happiness is light as a feather, but none can bear it. Calamity is heavy as the earth, yet none can avoid it. There will be another storm, but right now you stand naked before everything there is, and all is right in the world. And here's my poem, Life on the Periphery. Balancing between the dream and reality, happiness walks a tightrope laden with a heavy burden. Twilight blends with the city skyline, an image that paces and prowls the cage of society's state of mind as commuters are herded like cattle, crowd onto the train. They flutter like moths to straddle white picket fences, boxed in by the parentheses of consciousness, feign their docile veil of domestication, buried beneath the shadow of tombstones, and bask in the silhouettes cast by the mist that shrouds the haloed moon. A vibration shudders the air up by the railroad tracks, where daffodils evaporate in the light of electrified moonshine. Trees and shrubs blur along the rail line, forming a makeshift inversion of thought, torn to shreds like the weathered mattress that lays in the overgrown grass between the park fence and train tracks. Jukebox rust drips in the air as teenagers perform a dance under neon lights, a celebration of immunity to the aroused void. Purple haloed streetlights turn the blacktop road red, the impetus of a monotonous reality generated by imagination and fears, as dusk foreshadows the failing light of day, viewed from behind the decayed stone walls. But like salamanders in a cemetery, they scurry to the comfort of home, an experience portrayed in the abstract lithograph of American life, floundering in a whirlpool of idealism. Thank you. George Wallace, unfortunately, is under the weather and could not be with us tonight. So Francine Witt will come back up and recite his poems, and Ian Griffiths.
Hello, I'm still Francine Witt. Okay, this is Ian Griffiths from Aldeburgh, UK. Hymn. There is a line that's drawn against the sky, a line that's grown and lasts through time, and seen from east, north, south, or west, it is the line my soul knows best. And though it is only silhouette of hill, its sentence and its truth sustain me still. It matters not how far I roam, that line will always speak of home. In life I've traveled wide and far, and fortune been my guiding star. I knew I never lost could be, so much that long line meant to me. And this is George Wallace from New York. I drove west because of you. I drove west because of you and for you. Heard your voice in moonlit miles, crossed the Jesus-infested sky, caught hell at every 6-gun speed trap and felt envy smiling at every exit ramp. I tasted blood in a coffee cup in Abilene, and in Nevada, the 6-month rain never came. I slept like the damned, fouled in the yellow arroyo, and killed a horned toad with a wiper blade because I thought I heard it say your name. And I drove west because dry, dead riverbeds sprang to life and dull horizons climbed to heaven, and because the cascade of Nebraska green grasses is unbending. I wept over you like embroidery and wanted to love you, but could not, and wanted to understand you, but could not, and wanted to rescue or replace you, but could not. Yellow prairie sunlimp over the State House dome, your voice is like the little Colorado River carving a deep ditch deeper out of the flesh of the virgin. Your voice is cavernous, recalling crocodiles and thin-necked ibis, red seas parting, and I wanted to redeem you, but could not. On your lips, the song of endless cattle, in your palms, spit of ancient leather. In my rearview mirror, an unregulated militia of 2 big cowboys shooting their foul shotgun mouths off like Washington politicians. And I drove west because of you and heard your voice in full wing like larks, your voice quick as bullet trains covered with wagon dust, your voice cheap as crimes and easy encroachments. Your voice a bone-thin man with one eye on the horizon and the other eye missing, hell-bent on death, on survival, on oblivion. Your voice, wet boots trampling out the vintage across this intractable nation. Thank you.
I'd like to thank all our readers. Francine Witt, Anthony Policano, Doreen Spongy, James Romero, and thank everybody in Salinas, Kansas, and Aldeburgh, UK.
Yes.
This is Peter Dugan, and have a good night. All right, when I get it home, we're going to see what happens.